Christopher Pyne, after more than 2 years of attacking the Gonski reforms and insisting that there wasn't anything wrong with the current school funding formula, you've decided to back the government's judgment on this. Is this a sign that you believe this is a great policy, or were you just worried that voters would punish you at the election if you didn't support it?
Well, Emma, the government has made a complete hash of trying to introduce a new school funding model. Here we are in August.
But now you're supporting it.
Well, they've made a complete hash of it, and I'll explain why. There are only 4 jurisdictions out of 8 that have agreed to it, which means 4 out of 8 are out of it. We're now ending this year with the school year to begin in January and apparently a new funding model with half the country on one model and half the country on another. They couldn't have made a bigger mess of it if they'd tried. But the Coalition thinks it's time to put some certainty for parents, for schools, for school systems, states and territories. So our promise today is that we will commit to introducing exactly the same funding envelope as the government, whether you sign up to the new school funding arrangements or not. So states and territories that stay out of it will get exactly the same funding.
Pardon me for interrupting, but just a matter of weeks ago,
Emma, but I don't mind.
Just a few weeks ago, you were saying Gonski was a Gonski, that Julia Gillard and Peter Garrett had conned the states. What's changed?
Well, Emma, I don't mind you interrupting me. I wish you'd interrupt Ed as much as you interrupt me, but I don't mind, I promise. When I said that the Gonski...
I'd like you to stick to the question, pardon me.
Well, there you go again. But when I said the Gonski was a Gonski, it's because the government hasn't introduced the Gonski model. The Gonski report called for $6.5 billion of new spending every year. Over the forward estimates, that would be $26 billion. And the government is actually cutting spending over the forward estimates in education. So when I said the Gonski was a Gonski, it's because the government was trying to convince people that it was introducing something that it hasn't. Now, we've said today that schools and parents deserve certainty next year and into the forward estimates. So if you vote Liberal or if you vote Labor, you'll get exactly the same amount of funding from either political party. But we'll go one step further, we'll go one step better, and we will not introduce the central command and control from Canberra that the Labor Party wants to do. We will leave the authority for schools with the territories and the states and with the non-government sector where it belongs. So, in fact, we have a much better offer on the table. The same amount of money without the central control.
We're running out of time, so let's
No, when he's twisting in the breeze like that, I'm happy to forfeit my question. I mean, you know...
Well, then I'm happy to keep going.
No, you should, because really being able to explain after months of saying that the system wasn't broken, that they would stick with the current method of funding education, which would have seen cuts, and instead of a model where we're actually addressing need. I was at a forum last night in St Mary's, 150 parents and teachers who know that this system is broken, and they know it's broken because the New South Wales government, which signed on to this, said it was so, and have spent more time trying to get schooling improved rather than improving the political position of the federal opposition. And
well, the good news for them is that they'll get exactly the same under us or you.
And the good thing... Now they will, after yesterday you said
that's the good news
that you'd only have 1 year, and now what you're doing is extending it over the forwards, because you realise, like everyone else does, we've got to be fair income about addressing need, looking at the student, not the system, and ensuring that we get better outcomes for this country.
And we want best outcomes for students, and we want parents and schools and states and territories to have certainty. We're going to treat the states and territories like other adult governments. Well, we're on board, all right. There's no difference between you or I on how much funding will go to schools in education.
Yeah, but my neck doesn't have a crick in it from turning so quickly like you have in the space of 24 hours.
We are a unity ticket on education funding, and I'm so glad that we are. But we will not have the central command and control from Canberra that you want.
No, that's right, because we're Stalinists. I forgot the script.
Listen, gentlemen, we've run out of time, unfortunately. Thank you both for coming in this evening.